So, if you've also been waiting as patiently as I have to see what happened to Lars and Sadie after Lars came back to Earth, you're probably as irked as I am that the Steven Universe movie just glossed over Lars and Sadie as a couple. But don't worry, I've got your back for the few seconds those two characters were on screen so that we can hypothesize what their relationship status is. Hello, family members, and welcome to the Fangirl. I'm McGann, where film studies is literally all I do with my life. My parents are not very proud. Now, if you're like me, you've paid really close attention to Lars and Sadie's relationship, as it's this beautiful, toxic mess. It really borderlines on being abusive, and no, Lars never hits Sadie, but there's more types of abuse than just physical. Emotionally manipulating people or acting like you don't even know them in public or you're too good to ever be seen with them in public can really be considered forms of emotional or psychological abuse. And unfortunately, if the victim doesn't realize that that's happening, or he/she doesn't have enough self-esteem to really think that they deserve better, it's really easy to fall into the mindset that that's just the way things are, or that's all you deserve out of life. And that seemed to be the case with Sadie for a lot of the Steven Universe series. She appeared to really be in love with Lars, while in return, Lars acted like she was a booty call and hid their relationship from his friends, and he wouldn't let anybody know that he had any kind of positive feelings towards Sadie. Lars was straight up embarrassed of her, and I don't think that Sadie was dumb or naive or she couldn't see through that, so I believe she knew what was going on, but in truth, Sadie's a short girl who's a little bit on the chubby side, which is like a dating death sentence, at least for a girl. A guy can be 600 pounds and on a dating site and just think, I am the hottest guy that ever was, and I don't know how they have the self-esteem to do that, but I guess power to them if they can muster it. But for Sadie, and how I can imagine she grew up being treated based on her looks and being from this small town in Beach City, she probably felt like her options were take whatever Lars had to offer or have nothing from anyone ever. Actually, I think we can even break this down a few steps further. Sadie's mother, Barb, wants to love and defend and protect her daughter until it just becomes overbearing. Honestly, and I say this every time I get a chance, I think the best solution for Barb is to hook her up with Greg, because Sadie's mom really needs somebody to take care of, and Greg needs someone who will tell him it's time to come inside now. Seriously, he has how much money and he still lives in a van? It's just sad, Greg. Come on, go inside. You're not a stray cat, buddy. You're not. So Barb the helper with Greg the needy, and presto, perfect couple. But as much as I love Barb wanting to support her daughter, where is Sadie's father? We have no idea, but he's not in the series, suggesting that he either passed away or totally just abandoned his family, either of which would explain why Barb is such a smother trying to overcompensate for the love that Sadie's not getting from her dad. And the context is all there if you look for it, because see, cartoons are deeper than people think. So without having a dad around, Sadie kind of grew up with this internal complex, or I hate to say it like this, but daddy issues. And without a positive male role model to show Sadie how she should be treated by guys, she was already running a huge risk of falling into a bad relationship because she has nothing to compare it to. And no, internet, I'm not saying that people raised by single mothers or a two-mother household or even a two-father household are in a situation where they're gonna be so damaged. But for a lot of children, it is extremely important to grow up with an opposite gendered role model to sort of lead the way and say, this is what you do deserve. And I know there's people out there who say, you can't blame your parents for how you turned out. But, how can you not when they taught you how to be a person? Overall, all I'm trying to point out is that the absence of a father could have made Sadie believe that the way Lars treated her was natural. So Sadie went along with being secret friends with benefits. And again, that's not saying that everybody in that situation would follow that path. It's just saying that that type of person is more vulnerable to abuse. But then, As Good as It Gets was over, and Lars was gone. He accidentally went to Homeworld, died, and was resurrected as Pink Lars, where he eventually led a group of off-colored gems back to Earth. Yay! So Lars has been off in space, away from his parents coddling him, away from peer pressure, and having other life forms depend depend on him for the first time in his life. So what happened? Lars grew up. Problem is, Sadie has basically been mourning Lars for about a year or more. We don't even know how long he's been out in space. But Sadie grieved over his disappearance and she felt that pain. And then she joined Sadie Killers and the Suspects, where suddenly, for the first time in her entire life, Sadie wasn't a freak or a loser anymore. Or maybe she still was, but she was letting her freak flag fly now and people were responding to it. Sadie was talented and becoming popular. So when Lars finally got home, yeah, she was happy to see him, but she was also a different person now, just like Lars was. The Lars-Sadie relationship only worked because Sadie didn't like herself very much. And now she's in a very different position where people adore her and she doesn't have to settle. She doesn't have to be the dirty little secret of Lars. And even if Lars has changed and he wants to be very openly loving towards Sadie now, it's kind of too late. The damage is already done. Plus, honestly, on top of everything else, with Lars being resurrected from the dead, I just don't think Sadie would want to date him now. She still cares about him, but she knows she deserves more than Lars can ever offer at this point. And now Sadie's free and strong and independent, so she doesn't need to cling to a guy who isn't a perfect fit for her. And I think what little bit we see in the Steven Universe movie really reinforces this, because we do see that Lars is cooking his pastries, which used to be a secret, and he's there cheering for Sadie at her concert and even standing near her at the end of the movie, but we never get any deeper involvement like a hug or a kiss or even loving eye contact, and that's because that door is closed now. Honestly, with as little screen time as Lars and Sadie had, I did get the impression that Lars has changed a lot, almost like he's trying to be more open to catch Sadie's eye again. You know, like he wants another chance with Sadie, but she's miles above his league now, and Lars is technically a zombie, so I doubt that's gonna be a real romantic couple. And some people might find that frustrating as a conclusion to their story arc, but I think it's kind of nice. We don't have a lot of examples in the media of couples who break up and then have a healthy, functional friendship after that. So I would be really happy if that's where Lars and Sadie ended up. But I'll turn this over to you. What do you guys think? In the past 3-ish years between the series and the movie, did Lars and Sadie get together? Did they try it and it not work? Or had they both just grown too far apart? Leave your answer in the comments, and I might be overthinking it, but that's literally my job. He was a boy, she was a girl. Can I make it any more obvious? She was a punk, he baked pastries. How more could I please? She wanted him, but he'd never tell that secretly he wanted her as well. And none of his friends stuck up their noses. No one had problems but him, now he woes. She was a skater boy, she said see you later boy. She wasn't good enough for him. Now she's a superstar, slamming on her guitar. Does your pinky face see what she's worth? I thought we might have fun with a little parody. I know Steven Universe has a trillion songs, but the more I wrote out the script for the Lars and Sadie relationship, the more I'm like, man, this really feels like that Skater Boy song by Avril Lavigne. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Don't forget to watch more videos, subscribe, share, whatever you're up for doing, really. I mean, no pressure. I can't make you do anything. But I'd love to see you come join the family if you're not in it already. I mean, if you haven't subscribed and you've watched me for this long into this stupid part of the video, I mean, come on, you want to hang out with me more, just do it. Do it. Click the button. Little red button says subscribe. No, I'm just teasing. Unless you haven't subscribed, then I'm serious. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Lars grew up. 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 Lars heeded the call and he grew up. Well, family members, we're almost done, but I want to invite you to hang out with me in some other places. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as my own personal self, and I have a Facebook page too, but I mostly just post photos over there. And sometimes people say, hey McGann, I want to mail you something. How do I do that? Easy. Just click the About tab on my channel page, and my most current P.O. Box info will be right there. I also run another channel, The Family. It's really a hodgepodge channel where we might post anything. Oh Yeah, and I also sell shirts and stickers and stuff with the Fanily and the Fangirl logos. If that is your cup of tea, I have a link in every description of every video. Finally, if you want to help out the Fangirl channel and make sure I'm putting out video essays for years to come, the best way you can help is by subscribing and watching more of my videos, whether they're new, old, whatever. Maybe even share one or two on social media, help spread the word. People who watch to the end of videos, like you, helps to tell the site, hey, this is a good video, we should recommend it to other people. So if you made it this far, leave me a comment of something like, hey, I made it to the end. Love ya. See you next time, family members. Bye.